Hey everyone, before we get the show started, we want to take this time to send our thoughts, prayers, and condolences to all the victims and the families and anyone else affected by the terrible attack in Brussels. We're all with you, America's all with you, and the rest of the world's all with you as well. So thoughts and prayers to you all. Let's get going.
Wrestling buddies want to be your buddy.
Hey, buddy. Buddy!
You got me mad now.
Right now, we can all count the number of days to WrestleMania weekend on two hands.
At the same damn time.
That's how exciting it is right now. This is the time of the year where so much is happening, and we're going to do our best to wrangle it all in for you right here on the Wrestling Compadres Slamcast on AfterBuzz TV. Welcome, everybody. We're on iTunes. We're on Podcast One. By the way, if you're having issues with Podcast One, they've been having some tech issues lately. We've been getting your messages. Trust me, if we knew how to fix it, we would. I've been told it's still working on the podcast app for Podcast One. It's just the website's a little screwy. I don't know when they're going to fix it, but let's hope they do soon. Otherwise, we're always on iTunes. We're on Podcast Addict. You could watch us on YouTube. But please continue to let us know if you're having issues. We're going to do our absolute best to fix everything for you. But before that, let's just get going here. Find us on Twitter at WrestlingBuds, Facebook.com/WrestlingBuds. I am at Jay Quasto. Scotty Narver's coming in just a few minutes. He's running a little bit late. But the man that is on the phone right now from Washington, D.C. is the host of Dishin' on Movies. He's one of the co-founders, actually one of the thrice founders, I should say, the thrice founders of this show. You can find him on Twitter at TheWalkingDale. I'm going to be hanging with him all weekend at WrestleMania. You know he Dale Rutledge.
I got a puppet.
I got a puppy?
Bad news.
My man.
What's going on, Johnny? You know, I just counted it out on my fingers, and you are right.
Yeah, I know. I actually thought about it ahead of time.
And you know I've got that 11th finger, so I had you covered in case you were wrong.
What's very well done. Dude, how exciting are we? How excited? It's just like it's there's so much going on because not only do we have WrestleMania, we got Takeover, which is going to be phenomenal. We have friends of ours that are wrestling in other shows we get to go and check out. It's going to be just nonstop. And you and I are doing radio. It's going to be nonstop sensory overload. We're going to be doing Radio Row.
It is Christmas for wrestling fans, basically. It's going to be all kinds of goodness back to back. So I don't even know if I'll be able to recall everything we do by the end of it, but it is going to be good.
Yeah, I know. I'm just like, I haven't booked my flight yet, by the way.
Oh, Lord. Well, you know, we are the opposite when it comes to planning things. I bought mine like in 2015, I think.
I know. Well, the thing is, I didn't know if I was going to have a comedy show or not, and I still don't know if I'm going to, but I either want to fly in Wednesday or Thursday. I'm not quite sure, but we are going to get to it. That is for sure. With that said, like I said, Scotty's coming in soon. Chuck Rice, he busy, Dale. He working. All right.
Yeah, what he doing? Why he working so much? You got to get money or something.
He's working on the new show with Anthony Hopkins called Westworld today, which apparently is going to be a massive J.J. Abrams show. So that's pretty dope.
Oh yeah, that it was a movie in like the 60s or something. I actually saw it. It's very, very odd, but I bet it would translate well to modern time.
I think it will. So that's where he is, but follow him on Twitter at CRice17. And with that said, I know we're about to call a special guest in just a few minutes, but right now, let's just get a couple things.
It was Pete Gas, right?
I'm not saying who it is because I want to make sure we get the phone call through first. But let's get a couple things going here first. First off, iTunes reviews. We've had so many really good ones over the last couple of weeks, so we thank you for it. But I'm going to read just a couple of good ones that I really, really enjoyed. And I think we have a winner of the last Lucha Underground comic book. So here we go. This is from our boy Johan Pena at Wheels5_5TUD. I've been a devoted fan since day one. The podcast and group of awesome guys will keep you coming back for more when life gets hectic. They never skip a beat and always keep me in the loop with the latest news from all around the world, full of comedic moments. Johnny's always on point. He means my soundboard. No one cares about me. Nonetheless, they will never disappoint. Thank you very much, buddy. At Menace from Space, it's nice to listen to a podcast that is positive for one. Well, there you go. We're a pod class. I said that wrong. From @CalebYoung, I love seeing people like you guys who are committed and enjoy everything like I do. I don't have anyone around me I could talk to, so when I listen to you, I feel like I'm physically there talking with you guys, which we dig that, man. And also, thanks for everything you guys do. Keep up the awesome job. And just remember, Dale's got a puppet. Ha!
It's a puppy. It's a puppy.
Man, are you sure about that?
I mean,
I got a puppet.
All right. And the winner is from Professor Procrastination. This is a podcast that caters to the adult fan. It not only brings back childhood nostalgia by playing clips from days past, but it also moves forward with predictions. Actually, he splits his review up into two. He did an early one and then a later one. So he talks about Booker T's top 5 being on the show, all that good stuff. Now, update. I'm still listening and enjoy this podcast after 4 billion episodes, 114. They've changed networks, segments have evolved, Booker T doesn't visit quite as much anymore, and a host moved to a different coast. Let's talk about you, Dale. But they still produce the best wrestling podcasts in the business with the best guests. Even though I don't have an opportunity to watch Lucha Underground, New Japan, or TNA, I enjoy hearing about all these companies and their competitors. Scott's humor is a great addition after Dale and his puppet skipped town.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So, Professor Procrastination, hit us up on Twitter. Let us know your info because we're going to send you some stuff.
You just got yourself a comic book.
You got yourself a comic book, bruh. So there you go. That was pretty cool. How was your weekend, D?
Oh, it was great. Forget about my weekend, though. You said something about a guest?
We do have a guest, and so I think let's see if we can get him on. In the meantime, tell me about your damn weekend.
Well, I didn't meet Pete Gas this weekend. That's the main bummer of my weekend.
That's a bummer, man.
I did see Zootopia, though, which was surprisingly a very good movie. I didn't know what to expect, but I loved it. And, watching a bunch of wrestling, get ready. I will get into that later, but I got very excited with this week's episode of NXT.
We definitely will. I'll tell you where I went. I went to Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, yeah.
I went to the YourShow.tv Fight Night Sunday night. A lot of you have heard about it. We were tweeting about it. I got to go because one of my best friends, Jen Sturger, she got hired to do all the backstage interviews, and her and we have a show in the works with Your Show. So I was like, you know what? I can do it. I'm going to drive to Phoenix. I'm going to sleep on an ottoman, and then I slept on an arrow bed the next night. My body's destroyed. But
all class, joining the cluster.
All day, man. I like to rough it, I like to feel like I'm camping at all times. So,
even indoors.
I went to the event, and it was amazing. It was very unpredictable. It mixed MMA, boxing. There was even a grappling match between Chael Sonnen and Michael Bisping. And then, of course, Rey Mysterio and Kurt Angle put on a classic match where Riff Raff got involved. Needless to say, it's worth the purchase. If you could find it online, they're still replaying it for a couple of days yet. I strongly recommend getting it. It was really fun to be there. I got to shoot some footage for the show Jen and I are doing. I'm not going to say what we did, but we did some really, really fun stuff. And it was unlike any event I've ever had the privilege of going to. So it was really cool. Did you? I mean, you heard about it, right, Dale?
Oh, yeah. I read all about it online. I used to work with Riff Raff back in the day. I heard he had quite a segment.
Yeah, he sure did.
What was the classic line that JR delivered afterwards?
Here's the announce team was very eclectic as well. It was JR, Jim Ross, legend, Rampage Jackson, who is everyone knows him,
A-team legend.
Yeah, and Sean Wheeler, who's just an outstanding MMA announcer. So you talk about a team. By the way, Dale, when we make this phone call, you might get dropped, so we'll get you back on. So
#life.
Good
life.
Good talking to you. But yeah, it was a really, really good announce team, and JR had a really funny line, which I will explain to you at one point. But right now, we're doing a phone call. Let's see if we get this special guest. We're doing it live, guys. We're doing it live together, and let's hope for the best.
Hello?
Hello, Kurt.
Yes.
All right, we got you. Let me give you a quick intro here, and we'll get rolling. Ladies and gentlemen, we're honored to have this special guest. It's his second time on the show. He's won titles every place he's ever been. When all is said and done, he'll be a Hall of Famer for everyone he's ever worked for. He's the only Olympic gold medalist in the history of pro wrestling. It's an honor to have Mr. Kurt Angle on the show. How are you, sir?
Good. Thanks for having me on.
Of course, and it was a pleasure meeting you this Sunday, albeit briefly, because you and Rey Mysterio had some business to tend to. But what do you think about the Your Show event? It was one of a kind, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first time they've ever done that. I wasn't expecting anything fantastic, but they did a good job. They organized everything. I felt that there were certain the grappling might have been a little bit hard to watch between Bisping and Sonnen. But for the most part, I thought it was a great concept about, having Roy Jones Jr. Fight a fan. Obviously, the fan was an amateur fighter, but it was pretty cool to see, see him, basically toy with the fighter. He's so damn good.
Yeah.
But the whole thing, I thought it was pretty good. Having wrestling, MMA, and boxing all in one, you're obviously bringing three different sports together. You're bringing, three different eyeballs, but at the same time, there are a lot of fans that are wrestling fans. There are also MMA and boxing fans. So I thought it was a unique experience. I believe they do want to do more.
Yeah, they definitely do. And let's not forget, you and Rey Mysterio put on a classic. How fun was it to get back in the ring with him?
Oh, it was a lot of fun. I knew that him and I would have magic. It was a lot of fun to wrestle Rey again. It's been 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
The match was fantastic. The kid's so damn talented. I was really excited about the match. I really, unfortunately, we had someone get involved at the end.
Right.
I thought personally, that it would be better if it was just me and Rey. But it is what it is, and I was extremely happy with the match.
It was a fantastic match, and I'm with you. I know what you're talking about. We're not going to, mention what happened, but and then you and Rey. This is such a strange event. So there was a 15-minute concert in the ring, and then you and Rey had to follow that immediately. Have you ever had to do anything like that before?
No. I thought. Actually, I have to admit that the guy, I believe his name is Riff Raff.
Yep.
He's a talented son of a gun. I actually enjoyed the music. I've never done that before, but it was kind of cool to give the fans something different and, have a little bit of a concert. I thought it was a great concept. I was actually going to suggest that because I knew Riff Raff was going to be there. I was going to suggest it to your show to go ahead and have him sing or do something, and they went ahead and did it anyway. I didn't even have to tell them. So I thought it was a great idea.
Yeah, it was definitely a show like I've never been to before. It was fun being backstage and being able to record some things and everything. And so I want to ask you now, obviously everything, your last match with TNA was back late January. How good does it feel to have these last 2 months essentially to rest your body up? How do you feel?
Oh, it's been great. I went over to England with TNA, and I had 3 really, really tough matches.
You did.
Physically tough matches. Drew Galloway and Bobby Lashley, those two alone are the most physical wrestlers I've wrestled since Brock Lesnar. Bobby Roode was fairly easy, but the great thing about the match with Bobby Roode, if you ever do watch it, we went 15 minutes. It wasn't a real long match, but there wasn't one punch thrown. It was all wrestling, all submission trade-off. It reminded me a lot of my match with Chris Benoit back in 2003 at Royal Rumble.
Sure.
That doesn't happen anymore. You don't have a wrestling match without a punch, and Bobby and I were able to do that and pull it off, and it was an extremely good match. I would say it was one of my best matches. Unfortunately, I wouldn't put it up there in my top 10 because it was under 15 minutes, and everybody likes to go by time, and the longer it is, obviously, the better the match could be. But I was happy with all 3 matches. Drew Galloway and I had a great one. Bobby Roode and Bobby Lashley. The last one really got me good. I was sore for a week, but I was happy leaving TNA that way, and it's been a lot of fun spending time with my family. Doing this match with your show was fun. I'm just going to take it easy this year and see where it takes me.
Absolutely, and it was nice to see how much respect you have for Lashley to go out with your final match with them. You and Lashley, it was fantastic, and I think it really speaks to how you feel about him as a performer.
Well, that whole concept that we did that night was my idea. I told Big John Gubrick, I said, listen, if I'm going to leave, I said we got to make Bobby what he was before I beat him for the world title, and I believe I want him to take out the whole locker room. But we settled for about 3 or 4 guys.
I think so.
And I thought why not have Lashley face to face with the new face of the company. So when EC3 came out, Bobby let them go. I thought that was my concept. That was my idea to show that those 2 guys were going to be, the big faces of the company, and one was going to be the good guy and one was going to be the bad guy. And hopefully it came off that way. I don't know if it did, but that's basically what I wanted to do before I left the company.
You left like a true professional. You really you did exactly what you had planned. Watching it as viewers, like we are, that's exactly how we felt. And you left Bobby Lashley in a position of power, to say the least, which is exactly what you wanted. So kudos to you for that, for sure.
Thank you.
So I got a question from Chuck. Unfortunately, he got called to work today. So yes, he's working on a big TV show. So he's got a question for you. This WrestleMania, we have Shane McMahon, Undertaker. His favorite match of all time, and many of our favorite match of all time, was you versus Shane, King of the Ring. And you've also been in the ring plenty of times with Undertaker. Those 2 wrestling each other, can you expect anything, or is it going to be completely unpredictable?
I don't know. I really don't know. Undertaker, I'm going to tell you, the guy can still go.
Yep.
He can still go, and I have all the respect in the world for him. I know Shane's going to put on a crazy show. Obviously, the Hell in the Cell adds to it. I would have, if it was just a straight-up wrestling match, it wouldn't have been a great idea. But it's a Hell in the Cell, and it's Shane McMahon, and it's The Undertaker. I think it has the ability to steal the show. There's no doubt about it. I've watched Shane train. I've seen him move the way he moves. He still has it, and so does Undertaker. So I'm expecting that match to steal the show.
I kind of fear for Shane's safety because we know he has no fear whatsoever, but you're right. I think it might steal the show. One final question.
I agree 100%.
Yeah. Well, one final question for you. I know you're really busy and you're about to head to another meeting, and we can't thank you enough for your time. So now, for the first time in a long time, you are completely free to do whatever you want. You're enjoying your time in Pittsburgh, having time with the family, being able to take any bookings that you like. We have to ask this question because our fans want to know. Never say never, right, when it comes to maybe a reunion with WWE?
Yeah, I haven't tried to contact them, and they obviously have not tried to contact me. Not that, I'm a little surprised, but, it is what it is. So I'm okay with it. If I don't go back, I'm okay with that, too. I had a great career there.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I've talked to TNA. They'd like to have me back next year, so I have to keep my options open. I'm not just going to say that I will return to WWE. I won't say that I'm just going to return to TNA. I just have to keep my options open, see what happens, and see what the best situation and the best contract and deal I can get in the upcoming future. I will be back at one of the 2 companies. I just don't know where yet.
That's right. We know that many chapters left in the book of Kurt Angle. And on a personal note, I want to let you know, we've been fortunate enough to become friends with a lot of people in the business. And I can't tell you how many wrestlers I've spoken to over the years that say when it comes to how you step up for people, there's no one else like it. I know I have so many friends that said, Kurt Angle always stood up for me, was always stood up for the right thing. And I'm sure you are told that all the time, but I just want to let you know that it goes around, and people know that, and the respect you have from everyone in the business is unparalleled.
I really appreciate that, man. Thank you very much.
Of course. And so, well, thank you, man, for joining us. We'd love to do it again sometime. And, of course, yourshow.tv, you could still buy that pay-per-view. Trust me, price of admission, well worth Kurt Angle versus Rey Mysterio, not to mention the rest of the card. Find him on Twitter at @RealKurtAngle. Kurt, can't thank you enough.
Thank you very much. Take care, my friend.
You got it.
All right, bye-bye.
All right. Now, it's time to have the rest of the show. We just had a legend on the show.
That's right.
Hey, Johnny, I'm back. I didn't miss anything. Did Pete Gas talk yet?
Yeah, no, it wasn't Pete Gasdale. I'm sorry to disappoint you. No, it wasn't.
Who was it?
Did you miss the phone call? I'm sorry. It was legendary Kurt Angle. Did you miss the?
No!
You know what's hilarious? I'm in a chair, and if anyone's watching this, my chair keeps sinking gradually. When the phone call started, I was in a normal man position. Now I'm pretty much my butt's on the floor, and I didn't want to move my chair for fear of making noise talking to Kurt.
That is sometimes a normal man position, Johnny.
Oh, there it is. I'm back.
Floor butt.
I'm back, everyone. That voice you hear, he walked in during the interview. He was stuck in traffic. Buddy's here. And you know him as the host of the Curtain Jerks podcast. You know him as the host of the 16 Bits podcast. He's also
More dangerous than a hollow-eyed scorpion.
He's Scott Narver.
Scott Narver, hey, Scott Narver, curtain jerking Padres, always there to save the day. Scott Narver, hey, Scott Narver.
Hello, sir.
Well, thank you for that intro. I was trying to do something competitive because I know Kurt Angle's a competitive guy. He's a big guest on the show this week, and
Sure.
I thought, well, why not get the person who sang my song as opposition to that? Nikolai Volkov.
Oh,
Thank you, Nikolai Volkov.
Will you stop?
I was on the phone with him driving up,
No,
and I had
that's
to pull
not.
over.
You know what? That's what that is.
No, we were talking, and it's like, oh, do you want to come and be on the show? I'm like, Kurt Angle's going to be on there, and he was very upset about America and everything, so
Yeah.
he didn't want to do it.
And so he just started singing the Russian national anthem.
Yeah, and then he sang my song.
Wow, Dale, who knew?
Yeah, who knew it was Kurt Angle? I guess only Narver and you. Thanks, guys.
Sorry, I don't have as many wrestling friends as the rest of you.
Oh, you are sorry about that. It's true.
It's damn true, as a matter of fact. What a call. I mean, Kurt was super busy, so basically when his schedule was open, we were like, we'll call you at any point during the show, and that's the best part about the show. When we get a guest, we'll make it happen. We don't necessarily have to wait till the end. He was ready, we called him, and now we're all elated. We already had Kurt Angle. Now we could talk about everything that's going on in the world. You know what I'm saying? Let's do this.
Yeah, now we can just eat gravy.
Eat gravy and also get some news.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? It's not ready yet. I apologize.
because Dale wasn't. Dale, bring your ear closer to the phone, please.
What? You guys are saying something like a secret?
Yep, exactly. Dale be losing his damn mind over there.
You fooled me twice this episode already, and we just started.
Round of applause for the Slamcast live band, everybody. All right. A lot of news this week. Obviously, it's WrestleMania is approaching us, so yeah, a lot of news.
It is?
Yeah.
Well, that's news to me. There is the Slamcast news.
Got him.
According to TMZ, who he spoke to, Sting is not officially yet retired. He said he's not ruling out a return to the ring at any moment. It's just that he does have some neck and spine issues. They mentioned about stenosis, which he's like, yeah, it's common for a performer of my age to have stenosis. So it's one of the things where it's going to be who knows.
What's stenosis?
What is stenosis? Damn it, Scott!
Haha, no delay here.
Spinal stenosis is it's basically a degeneration issue of your spine. Over the years, it happens to almost everybody, but when you're a pro athlete like Sting is, and you're taking all the brunt of athleticism and wrestling, it kind of exacerbates itself. So where basically you have your spine, and the levels of your spine as you load it over the years, kind of you get bone spurs and degeneration of the disc. So like the disc at every level of your spine, they get smaller as we age. So Sting's almost 60. They're not what they used to be. On top of, you get the occasional bone spurs, and if they're at the wrong spot, they will pinch the nerve that goes out of the little nerve root.
I think we have a new faction.
What's that?
Degeneration spine.
Degeneration
Oh
spine.
my God! Break
See,
it
I
down.
got you on that one.
No, I still said it first.
Damn it.
Doodle on your foot.
Think
So-
of that. Think of it. Made him Vent Mafia be damned. We got degeneration spine.
I mean, yeah. So
Flair.
At the same time, you know, he said he's like, right now I feel good, and you know, the way it is with that, if you ever have surgical intervention, you want to wait until you absolutely need it. And he said, right now I'm feeling good, and he's not ruling it out, and he could probably do a few more things. It's just a matter of getting the right test done to make sure that everything is aligned properly and there's nothing horribly damaging that could happen per se.
Right.
So there's that. Carl Machine Gun Anderson posted a cryptic message on Twitter that just had the word soon.
Maybe he's making cookies.
He might be. They're almost out of the oven.
Yeah, they're almost ready.
Chocolate
They
chip.
take a good 14 to 16 minutes to cook, so it's you could tweet a few times.
Well, they should be done by now.
Right.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Well, I think we're on to something here.
probably
Man.
Doc wants the first batch, so, for everybody else, soon.
Do you ever go overboard on really good chocolate chip cookies?
I don't know underboard on chocolate chip cookies.
You eat too many of them? We.
My butt would explode.
I mean, it happens.
What's in your cookies?
Just saying, it's possible. Cesaro is... So, by the way, Anderson's post... I really wish that they would just make it a surprise instead of posting these messages. Like, just
Yeah, I don't care for that.
go radio silent,
Well,
please.
we're about 3 months too late for that, Johnny.
I know. Just whatever.
Yeah, but it's hard to have a surprise when everything is covered nowadays. It's like, I mean, the second that they thought about leaving New Japan, it was being covered. So it's like,
No, you're very true.
they got to keep you interested, and maybe they feel like having little nuggets go out via social media is the best way to keep you intrigued. I don't
Wait,
know.
Nuggets on Twitter is ruining all this?
Hey, girl. We love you, Nuggets.
Yeah.
Nuggets, stop talking about Carl Anderson and when he's going to debut.
She's going to go crazy when she hears her name message.
Nuggets.
What's up, girl? Cesaro to return April 15th in Amsterdam. So apparently his shoulder not quite ready for WrestleMania, but they say he's going to be ready by the middle of April, which that's a fast recovery.
Wow. Carl Anderson and Nuggets breaking that story too, huh?
Yep, every story. So how about that, Cesaro?
Yeah, good for him. Like, it's, you want the WrestleMania window of him being there, but the second he comes back, people are going to go crazy and excited for him.
And on the bright side, the rest of his body got to rest during this whole rehab period, and he gets to do some live events overseas to make sure he's ready. I just really hope there's some kind of grandiose return plan for him, because he not only deserves it, the fans want to see him in some major angles.
I mean, we got AJ Styles around, we've got Jericho around right now. There's a lot of the middle ground opponents like that are if he gets a feud going, there's a lot of great potential stuff going on.
Cesaro's needed. He needs main event stuff. I mean, if you look at how WrestleMania's being put together, Cesaro could have been a huge part of it. Mm-hmm. So, thoughts, Dale?
Where do you think? I'm afraid that he would have ended up in that IC ladder match, really,
Yeah, you bring
if
up
he
a fair
was
point.
around.
Very fair point. I'm hoping for the best.
I'm hoping for no injuries in that ladder match.
Well, yeah, me too. And speaking of
boy.
injuries,
Keep hoping, brother.
I know. Speaking of injuries, we have another one. Neville, it looks like he could be out 3 months or longer. They believe it's a fractured ankle, but I haven't gotten any confirmation yet. But yeah, luckily.
Also, Luke Gallows got hurt in the dark match post Raw. They had to help him out. There hasn't been an official report of what happened or how severe, but he needed help leaving the ring in the dark match.
You mean
Raw.
Luke Harper?
Parker? Yeah, sorry.
Okay. Yeah, you're jumping ahead
That
of the
was
game.
weird.
Gallows.
Like, wait a second, Carl Anderson is saying soon, but
It was a very dark match.
Man, yeah. Sure was. Yeah, I know. So hopefully he's not too injured. We don't know what the extent of that is. But Neville, honestly, it doesn't sound like it's a surgical issue. I don't think it is. So hopefully it can just heal on its own, which takes a good 2 months. Plus, when you do what he does, you want to give yourself a little bit more time. So
sure, and a Dr. Scholl's insole in there,
yeah, maybe some Kanoki foot pads. That could help.
Yeah, all those.
It really sucks on the timing, though, because I'm sure he was going to be in that ladder match, and I'd love to. I mean, what better guy could you ask to be in that match?
The Miz.
Zack Ryder?
I mean, now I think it's Zack Ryder.
Yeah, it is. Zack Ryder
Which
replaced him.
I mean, Zack Ryder's never had a match at WrestleMania, so I'm actually elated that he
That's
got
not true.
that spot. But I just feel bad for him.
Scott says nay. Scott says nay. He did wrestle at
The
WrestleMania.
whole thing with Eve in the teams where Eve turned on him, kicked him in the Long Island Ice Z's.
Oh,
You mean that like 5-on-5 where he was in the ring for maybe 10 seconds?
Yeah, and then there was major storyline of Eve turned her back on him.
There you go.
He was at a match
That
at WrestleMania.
storyline didn't happen at WrestleMania.
Speaking of Eve, she just got cast in Supergirl, so good for her.
Whoa.
She'll be playing Maxima. So there you go. This is something that honestly kind of surprised me this week. Bobby Roode and Eric Young have both left TNA.
That totally floored me. I did not see that coming at all.
Nope.
I mean, they're one of the few OGs that are over there, or well, I guess not, actually. But I was very shocked by this news.
Well,
Did they say why or what's going on?
I don't know, but on TV, Beer Money's the current champions. Mm-hmm. So
Yeah.
And Eric Young's running
And I
wild.
think they're caught up on, I mean, the last episode was live, so I don't know how many they filmed while they were in Orlando, but
I thought like a month's worth. That's what I thought.
Yeah, they also could have had some in the can prior to the live. Who knows? It's very hard to figure out. But
Well, they got like 18 one-night onlys.
yep,
I'm sure ready to go.
ready. Yeah, I'm sure Aries is still in one.
For one night only,
Few
they have
episodes
a
in the
lot.
can. NXT, Zack Ryder is totally clean shaven, and then on Raw he has the biggest beard you've ever seen him with.
Well, I mean, you gotta film stuff at it then. Rude didn't really say anything. He just said, it's been a great ride, but it's time to move on. Eric Young actually took to Twitter and he said a bunch of
Soon.
things. No, he did not say soon, but he did basically say that it had to do with just how things were running, and he just kind of had enough. That's kind of the message he was sending across. But he's also very excited for wherever his road will take him, and hell, we are too, because he can go anywhere. They both can.
Well, that's a few people now, because one person we haven't talked about, because we don't know the full story yet of what happened, but Mr. Anderson, friend of the show, has also,
Yes.
at this point, it's presumed that he is not with TNA.
He's certainly not anymore.
Okay.
That's a guarantee.
So we got a lot of people up in limbo right now. We got Kurt Angle, we got Mr. Anderson, we got Eric Young, we got Bobby Roode.
Well, there's no more limbo. They're all gone.
Well, I just mean they're in limbo of where they're going to land.
Sure.
Like, we don't know, I'm sure Lucha Underground are licking their chops, ROH, WWE. There's a lot of potential for all these guys. This is an exciting time.
Yeah, I mean, Bobby Roode's mid in TNA since day one, as has Eric Young. So for either one of them to go anywhere, I feel like they have a great ticket to cash, because a lot of companies, I think, would want to use two talents like that. I mean, Eric Young has proven that he can do anything. He's been given so many weird angles and weird ideas over the years, and he finds a way to make them all work. And you just heard Kurt Angle say how great Bobby Roode is in the ring. Everyone knows that. So best of luck to them both. I mean, we can't wait to see them have some good opportunities. We don't know where they're going to end up, but hey, good on them.
I mean, if one guy ended up in each wrestling company, that'd be amazing for each wrestling company.
Agreed. And as far as TNA goes, like I said, Bobby Roode is very nice about it. He said, the companies, they have a great, talented roster, as they do. And I've enjoyed the episode. So let's see how things play out.
Yeah, let's see how the roster of 6 guys left.
I know.
how it's going to go.
See how it goes on Pop. And lastly, exciting stuff, Stan Hansen will be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame at WrestleMania to be inducted by Vader.
Wow.
That's 2 big men who like to fight.
Yeah.
So
They are nasty, nasty brawlers.
Jim Ross has such a great story about Stan Hansen. I guess Stan's eyesight wasn't very good.
Jeez.
And so he was very stiff in the ring. And I forget what the story is. Jim told it a couple times. And God, it cracks me up. Where Jim was calling the match at ringside, and Stan was working someone in the corner, but he was hitting him so hard because his vision was so bad. And like, you literally heard the other guy yelling like, "Ah, damn, Stan, stop it!" Like he was beating the holy hell out of it.
You'd think he noticed when his knuckles are pressing against a guy's temple over and over again.
I don't know.
You got me mad now.
But either way, Stan Hansen to be inducted by Vader. That'll be fun to see.
Are they going to show the clip from No Holds Barred with Stan Hansen?
I would hope so.
In his video package?
It might. They might.
I think they will.
Ooh, Dale, what do you think? Break this tie. I say. Actually, we both say yes.
Break it.
Okay, then yes. I yes, and have it.
Oh, man, we're still in a tie.
It's unanimous, and this is Slamcast News. All right, a lot to talk about. Where do we start?
Should we start with TNA? I feel like we just got into it. Maybe we should continue with TNA.
Yeah, why not? Because we have plenty to talk about for WrestleMania. The main event. So basically, TNA started off with, you're wearing your version 1 Matt Hardy t-shirt from circa 2002, perhaps.
Probably 2003.
There you go.
I think.
I loved him as V1. So the match...
Why?
He was... Shut up, man.
How dare you, Dale?
He was funny as V1.
Oh, my God, he's hysterical.
Dale.
Cutting weight to become a cruiserweight champion?
Rutledge has an axe to grind with Matt Hardy. We know
He does.
We know this.
He's grown on me. This character has at least grown a little bit as far as his mic skills. Although I have to say, every time they cart that baby out, all I can think about is the safety of the baby.
Maxell? You talking Maxell Hardy?
Maxell's fearless.
Oh my God, no fear with that kid. Shane McMahon, you think has no fear? Maxell, no fear.
None.
I mean, the baby came out looking upset. They're like, "What is all this noise? Why are you dragging me into a wrestling crowd?" You could read it on that baby's face.
A baby's playing heel.
Yeah.
Doesn't like that crowd. Thinks they all need to use soap.
How many baby
Go to
heels?
school?
How many heel babies have you seen? Not many.
None better than
Yeah,
Maxell
you
Hardy.
know why? Because you don't take a baby to a wrestling show.
Oh, listen to old Jim Cornette.
Why do you
don't-
think outside the box, Dale?
Come on, you don't take babies to a wrestling show? Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you don't.
I don't
Oh,
know.
Jim Cornette.
You're not gonna break this tie.
What do you guys know about babies?
Think of the action figure possibilities. You got Matt Hardy. You got includes Maxell Hardy with posable action.
Oh my God, the action figure baby. Oh my God, that'd be great.
It'd be so amazing.
Oh, if you
get the Hangover shirts, you know, like you get in the style of the Hangover, it's a little baby.
baby Bjorn.
The baby Bjorn, but it's Maxell on there.
And
I'm
then-
with Maxell.
Well, then Raby's got to be next to it, right?
Oh, sure.
That's a combo act. That's a 3 action figure set right there.
Billy Corrigan, I can do your merch and help you
Yeah.
out instead of all the lame shirts that you guys are coming out with left and right.
Yeah.
Let me help you out.
By the way, Billy didn't look comfortable in that suit this week.
Billy often seems uncomfortable on camera in the wrestling world.
Yeah.
How is it that he's performed for 20 years now in front of giant arenas, but he seems like the most shyest guy
I think he is.
in front of the camera?
I heard he's incredibly nice, but he might just be a very socially awkward kind of fella.
Well, I'd say there's the character in Smashing Pumpkins that he personifies. Like, he is able to do that well in the comfort of his music and his words and everything like that. And then when being put on camera as Billy Corrigan,
Yeah.
there's nothing to connect to yet for the guy. It's probably not been thought out too much. You know, the McMahons, they took a lot of time to come into their own
Sure.
as characters.
It's true, and he hasn't really picked. He's not really a heel. He's not really a face. He's just Billy Corgan so far. He hasn't really established. I agree with what you're saying. So maybe they need to just give him a little something to work with.
Well, that's the thing is, I don't think he ever knows that he's going to be on TV until like 5 minutes prior to. That's what it seems like.
We're going to put a camera on you. Oh, why?
Oh, what? But I'm wearing sneakers and a suit.
Oh.
Okay.
But guys, he had his own wrestling federation. I mean, I just feel like this is a position that he has had time to grow into. So it's not like he hasn't had the chance to give some thought to how he would like to come off on camera.
Well, I'm just saying that, you know.
I'm just amazed we've gone 2 minutes talking about Corgan without mentioning any Smashing Pumpkins lyrics. I almost did, but I was like, nope, I'm going to be a professional and not do it.
Good.
Yep. So.
You really want
Nope,
to.
I'm not going to say anything. No, I'm not going to say anything.
But what is...
Well, hey, what was your favorite match from TNA? I personally was super into the ladder match of Eli Drake.
Oh my God, wasn't it fantastic? We'll get to the main event, but while you mention it, absolutely, Grado and Drake were fantastic, and the bump at the end when was it Grado or did Drake power slam Grado off the ladder? I forget exactly what happened, but boy was it good.
Yeah, Grado going up the ladder and then jumping off of it to the floor to land on the 3 guys that were down there. I mean, that was a great spot. It was just a wonderful, wonderful match. Although I got a little confused with the rules because Drake kept climbing the ladder to grab the contract, but I didn't think that was part of the stipulation. I thought Grado just had to grab the contract.
He was supposed to grab the contract and tear it up, and Grado was supposed to grab the contract so he could have a job.
I see. Okay.
The thing I was confused by, we see the surveillance footage of Drake switching the briefcases, but then Billy Corgan came out to the ring and he's like, look, I don't know what happened, so here's what we're going to do.
You did something. We aren't completely sure, even though we saw it from top to bottom.
Yeah, I feel
You
like
did something.
don't show the surveillance because that had me thinking, oh, well, Drake's getting fired. Now instead, Drake's still got a job, but now Grado has a job.
Maybe Billy Corgan's done some shady stuff on the surveillance footage, and he's like, let's not totally acknowledge that, but yeah.
You sure?
He might have.
Okay.
Maybe he's writing lyrics for Foo Fighters.
No.
He might be, and he's like, oh, don't let it be known.
But Dave Grohl doesn't need Billy Corgan's help.
Yeah. Publicly.
Wow.
But when Grado got that contract, though, he was like, today is the greatest day I've ever known.
There it is.
Thank you. There it is. Thank you.
I
Thank
was-
you. That's who the audience has got a delay as well, it seems.
I was trying to break out something from 1979 or Despite all my rage, rat in a cage, whatever that song is.
Sure.
I forget what that one is.
Bullet with butterfly wings, yes.
There you go. And I wanted to avoid trying to sing in Billy Corgan's tone because that would just be awful for everybody involved.
Oh, I think we'd love it.
That'd be worse than Dale listening to Slamcast News live band. That'd be rough.
Don't you hit that button. Don't you hit that button.
You totally expected me to hit the button just now. I love it. But yeah, kudos to Grado and Eli Drake. I'm happy we're going to see more Grado.
I'm happy they're still on the show.
Yeah, thank God for that. What a great ladder match it was. They both completely brought it. Now, let's get to the main event. So to start off, Matt Hardy defeated Eric Young to get into an impromptu main event that was going to be just Matt Hardy versus EC3. Now it became Hardy versus EC3. But EY pile drives Jeff on the floor. Craziness goes down. Everyone's kind of beat up. And then Drew Galloway cashes in and ends up pinning Matt Hardy and is now the new world champion. So this was a live event. There's so much in these 2 hours. I feel like they're like, well, it's a live show. Let's just do everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it had a pay-per-view quality to it, I would say. And I was very surprised by the ending.
Yeah, I know. I was like, Matt Hardy was really just getting into a groove as this champion.
And the guy who's chasing the belt, with Lashley in the way, EC3, is not even the guy that's going to get it. Instead, we have the guy, which I missed somewhere along the line.
Yeah.
Why the hell is Drew Galloway called the captain?
Who calls him the captain?
Josh Matthews.
That's what they call
every
him.
second
Yeah,
he gets.
the captain.
The captain.
But Josh Matthews also kept calling EC3 the ass-kicking machine. None of it made sense. And calling him the captain makes no sense either.
Dale, do you know why he's called the captain?
Presumably because he has a ship.
If you like pina coladas.
Ah, Billy Corgan.
Yep. There you go. he's on a boat.
I don't care for this captain thing. Oh, captain, my captain, we need a new captain. Please, Drew Galloway as champion doesn't do a whole lot for me. I mean, good for the guy getting what he's getting, but he's not the guy right now, I feel.
And why did we just, much to Kurt Angle's point earlier, I hear, why would they spend the time to do everything that they set up with Kurt and EC3 is the guy, right? I mean, that's Kurt's words. And suddenly Drew Galloway is the guy, but EC3 just made a face turn. So would you have EC3 versus Drew Galloway? That doesn't make a lot of sense. And the title just changed hands. So
unless they go a different direction and they work into a long program with him and Spud again, with EC3 and Spud, I don't know. Like, I'm with you. Hardy was really, really owning this character and having the title and doing anything possible to make sure no one got their hands on it. And Galloway, he's got the briefcase. Wait until your next live event. Let it go a couple of months.
Do you realize the scarring that you're causing for Maxell?
Yeah.
The emotional scarring that his father's put in a position where he lost the title.
Seriously,
terrible.
Think about the babies.
What you think about the babies?
now you're worried about the baby.
Yeah,
Just
psychologically.
one.
Physically, we know the kid could take a bump. We're talking about psychologically.
Mm-hmm.
You know the kid can take a bump. What are you
Sure.
guys doing on the weekends
He's
out
been
there?
in the ring.
Oh, yeah. I mean, hey, plug my own podcast here. We talked to Maxell Hardy on Curtain Jerks, and he gave us the full skinny.
Yeah. He pulls no punches, that kid.
No. He's living life on the road
Yep.
already.
Mm-hmm.
Tough life.
He's got a tour bus.
His Hall of Fame speech right now would trump Stan Hansen's. Hands down.
I bet it would.
I haven't even seen Maxell hit the ropes, so I don't know what you guys are watching.
And,
Yeah, you talk about Lana all the time.
yeah, Scott and I, trust me, we know.
We got wrestling friends. It's a baby named Maxell Hardy.
He's the best heel baby in the planet.
That's right.
But no, to your point, Dale, you're absolutely right. So Galloway, the only reason he had the briefcase is from Feast or Fired. And to Mike Bennett's credit, Bennett cracked me up the week before. Unfortunately, I was not here last week to play this. But Bennett got in his face and basically said, like, there's the only reason that you have that briefcase is because you won some...
Thingamabobby.
I haven't heard someone say thingamabobby since I was a kid.
I love the Miracle. I think he's a great addition to the roster over there. Him and Maria both, really.
Him and Maria crush it. But I just, I think that's a Midwest/East Coast word.
Thingamabobby.
And just cracked me up. But he's right.
It's a good word.
Speaking of which, him and Maria defeated Galloway and Gail Kim. So Galloway loses a match. Maria wins her first match in the ring. And Maria gets the roll-up on Gail. And then Galloway ends up cashing in to become the champion. Look, I'm all for surprises. I'm all for shenanigans going down. I just don't know why this made sense unless they...
There could be some bigger plan in place, sure.
Maybe.
But right now, it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this goes more to the point of what we'd heard in the past, that anybody that came from WWE, they kind of put them on a bit of a pedestal. And because I don't really even feel like Drew has established character per se. I mean, I think there's guys that have a deeper personality on the show that aren't even in the mix per se. So I don't know. I was surprised, and I guess it's fine to get the briefcase cashed in and all that, but I don't know. I was just a little disappointed.
Yeah, Drew has a huge UK following. I mean, we all seen the clip of when he showed up back in
Scotland.
IWL.
Yep.
And the reaction and ovation and seeing how good he is. But I agree, Dale. His persona and his character is not established in TNA. He's just
he is what he is.
The guy that didn't get his due.
Yeah.
And that, I feel like at this point, that's not enough to do that, to put him in that position.
I agree. And at this point...
And if you were going to do that, why do it now when you just said that EC3 was the guy? Or you're giving a lot of time to people like The Miracle or Eli Drake. I mean, all those people are getting more character-building time.
Or Grado.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Grado's a character.
Yeah.
Times 2. And that's
and Spud. I mean, there's so many more established characters that I think it would be better suited in that position.
I agree, and even Spud's smart enough. He's completely changed up his wardrobe and his everything now, and it just makes sense. Whereas Galloway, at this point, he is what he is. He's a great athlete. He's a very good wrestler, and he's a good dude. But I don't think there's ever going to be a dynamic character with him. That's just who he is.
It's going to be a mutiny, Captain.
Maybe.
It's going to be a mutiny.
He might be. I don't know.
2 Canadians already left the ship.
They sure have. So... he's the new champion, I guess. But at the same time, I'm intrigued to keep watching. So if that's what their goal was, it worked.
All right.
Because I'm looking forward to seeing what's going down.
With you.
So all right, WrestleMania time. Monday Night Raw was polarizing, to say the least. A lot of talk about whether people liked or disliked Raw and to see how WrestleMania is shaping up. We can say this. Vince McMahon kind of confused everyone last night talking about The Undertaker.
Undertaker is also my bitch.
So he agreed with Shane and then said if Undertaker doesn't beat Shane McMahon, this will be his last WrestleMania. But we have been led to believe if Shane wins, he gets control, Vince will be ousted.
Right.
So where does that dictatorship come from?
Where does Vince's dictatorship come from?
Is he going to have the power to say Undertaker's gone when he doesn't have the, quote, power?
Well, he's a power-hungry maniac.
You sure?
You know, so anything he says is up in the air of if it's true or not.
I'm just saying, do you see the hole I'm going for there, right?
I see the hole you're going for, and I'm going to back up a little bit so you have clearance for the hole.
Oh, God, I didn't mean it that way. Scotty!
Is that Billy Corgan? I don't know.
RKO!
It's Vince seems to cover the ground of everything in the editors fix it all for the video package.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, all right, you covered it all. We're gonna just streamline it here now. But I don't think it doesn't make. Oh wait, hold on. How do I say this? It makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
That he's.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like Shane might have control of Raw, but I mean Vince still writes the checks. So if he didn't want Undertaker to be employed anymore, I think he would still have that power.
Okay.
Storyline wise.
He never wanted Austin to be champion and things like that, and it would, someone else would be in power, or Shawn Michaels would be in power, or Austin would be in power, and then still in the world of wrestling, he figures out a way to get it back.
Gotcha. Okay. Totally on board. I just know a lot of people kept tweeting us that question, so we had to bring it up on the show just to reiterate what the people were thinking. So
anything is
possible.
possible.
I do want to say that, I feel like it's more confusing. What bothered me more was him saying Undertaker was his greatest creation, but Undertaker is also my bitch.
Yeah.
Like, I just thought the message that he was sending was very confusing as far as how he feels about The Undertaker or what The Undertaker will do when it comes to Vince McMahon.
And for all we know, the $1 Million Man and Brother Love found The Undertaker.
And Virgil.
Well, yeah.
Virgil signs the checks.
Did you see Virgil's tweet? about Hulk
Lord,
Hogan.
every tweet from Virgil is annoying.
Just after Hulk Hogan won the lawsuit against Gawker,
Yeah.
he's something like,
Can I have $5?
basically like, congrats to my brother Hulk Hogan. Now why don't you help out your black brother or something? Just
Jeez.
yeah. Anyways,
I was gonna say with Vince, I think the only downside about this is I feel he's telegraphing what could happen too early. So if he's saying Undertaker's my bitch and all that right now, I feel that's a better thing to play up during the match of saying he has control of him, and if Taker doesn't listen to him at that point or turns on him.
yeah, it's just it's all this short term. That's the problem you run into when you don't have a lot of time to build things. You got to fast forward.
Guess so.
I'm very curious to see, is it going to be this match? I mean, it's in a cage, but I still think there could be some shenanigans or tomfoolery. Or is it going to be Brock Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose that we get the most amount of run-ins and outside interference?
Well, considering Dean Ambrose has already been gifted a baseball bat with barbed wire,
Barbie.
and he got a visit from a certain legend.
Windmilling, pile driving, neck breaking, back breaking, bear hugging, wrist locking, knee dropping, toe holding, son of a gun, meaner than a rattlesnake, tougher than shoe leather, more dangerous than a hollow-eyed scorpion.
Terry Funk, y'all.
Oh, my
He
God.
gave him a damn chainsaw, and he sawed a table in half.
Damn you,
Well,
Hulu. Damn you, Hulu, so much.
Wait, Hulu didn't show this?
Yes.
Oh, Dale. We may have to revolt against Hulu once again.
Well, I don't watch it on Hulu, and there's several reasons why.
You know what we have to
Because
do?
you're rich.
You know what we have to do? I believe Hulu, all of us right now, needs to be shamed.
Save him! Save! Save him! Save! Save him! Save!
Shame on you, Hulu. How
Yeah.
dare you not
Wait,
put that?
shame us? Is that what you're doing? Shaming us?
We're not shaming us or Sheamus. Us.
Or
Sheamus.
Usos. We're not shaming Usos.
We're not shaming Usos. We're
I didn't
shaming
know
Us.
Hulu was a guy.
Yeah, how dare you, Hulu? They didn't show that?
Yeah, he was on Star Trek, wasn't he?
Wow. Good one. Wow, I cannot believe they didn't show that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Terry Funk said all that, gave him a chainsaw, and Dean Ambrose sawed a table.
Oh my God, that's so rad. So does that mean there's going to
wonder-
be one more guy?
I wonder who's. I mean, I think it would be awesome if we get a bunch of legends coming out to help Dean Ambrose win this battle.
But here's my question, though. I mean, you get a barbed wire bat and a chainsaw. That makes everyone believe that this match is going to be insane, like CZW
Blood.
old school style. The question is, how crazy can it really get? You're not going to have a chainsaw, for God's sake.
Well, if Dean Ambrose is wearing a T-shirt, that chainsaw's coming out.
No,
He's going to get chainsawed right in the back.
maybe.
They'll call him Stumpy Lesnar. Yeah, I don't know. What can you do with a chainsaw at this point? I mean, I think you can threaten with it, at the most. I don't know.
All
The
right.
nice thing about a chainsaw, as I've learned from every Halloween horror night that I've ever been to, is that you can make it sound really scary, but then not have the blade in it, so everybody's fine.
Yep,
True.
I hate those damn haunted houses.
You hate everything scary, really. That's still one of the best experiences is going to a haunted house with you.
Yeah, I'm down whenever you want. Just know you're going to be entertained.
Oh man, get GoPros, you guys. Go do that.
We should. Yeah, I'll what's that guy's name on YouTube? PewDiePie?
PewDiePie.
Who gets scared? Please, man. He ain't nothing.
I'll sew my drawers.
It's true.
Yeah.
He might scream in a Swedish accent, but he's got nothing on you.
My butt would explode.
What kind of cookies are you eating?
I don't know.
All
Just
right.
saying. I don't do well at haunted houses.
Predictions, gents. Next Raw, who is the third and possibly final legend to bequeath a weapon to Dean Ambrose, and what is said weapon?
Oh my God! I mean, after Mick Foley and Terry Funk, where do you go?
Is it Sabu?
I
I
was
mean,
just gonna
is he still in the good graces of the WWE?
But here's the thing, though. I'd say like maybe Sandman or something. But the thing is, you have Mick Foley and Terry Funk, who, with no disrespect to Sabu, are larger names.
You mean like Sabu would be the starting point?
Yes.
It wouldn't be the final point.
Yeah.
Or the middle.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't know.
Well, but who else is known for being crazy that would work in this type of scenario?
Unless they do a split screen with John Moxley and Dean Ambrose. Show how really crazy he is.
That's not a bad idea. A lot of people don't understand that he was truly. I mean, that's why this is happening. I feel is his past.
If they could find footage of Jon Moxley like talking to himself or going crazy, and they find a way to cleverly split screen it with Dean Ambrose, that could be incredible.
If they could just let Dean Ambrose be that character, that would be incredible.
Yeah, they don't even have to mention his name. They could just show him talking to himself.
Right. I got a guess.
Go ahead.
Rick the Model Martel.
With arrogance.
With arrogance.
Wow. That's a tough one to beat.
Doesn't matter how big you are. You get a guy in the eyes, he's done.
Yeah. That's you spray someone with arrogance, that's
blood and urine and vomit.
That is what happens when you ingest arrogance.
Yeah.
All those things come out.
Your body just falls apart.
Or what if Fandango embodies him with a dance that nobody cares about anymore?
Oh, that's true. He'd be Dean Ambrose would be the most over guy post WrestleMania.
Yep.
You want to talk about a good distraction? Get those hips moving. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's right. It was nice to see Fandango at on Monday Night Raw, though. Mm-hmm. So, dude looks great.
Yeah, he's in really great shape. And it was
nice to see him, except that the problem is that if he's still that same character, that means they're not working on a reboot of Fandango.
No, all the reboots go to Barrett. That's the rule.
At least till June.
Yeah.
Well, then they'll give him another one. They'll give him a boot.
A boot.
That's sad.
So, hey, this happened, by the way. Now, when it comes to the Intercontinental title, Kevin Owens decided to get on the nerves of Stephanie McMahon, so therefore she turned it in. So basically he turned what everyone thought would be a triple threat between Ziggler, Zayn, and who's the third one I'm looking for? Miz. And ends up making a triple threat with Stardust, Zack Ryder, and Sin Cara. And Steph wasn't having it, and so she said, now you're going to defend that title in a 7-man ladder match. Oh, and by the way...
And hit the lights on the way out.
Just got right in his grill.
Sucker. I think she ended it with sucker.
Sucker.
Because I'm making Padres, you idiot.
Yeah, then she said that, which was really out of context for everybody.
It was.
They didn't put that on the Hulu version, but she said it. Don't worry about it. She said it.
Yeah.
I always was hoping that this would go to a ladder match. I didn't expect Sin Cara or Zack Ryder, and I guess if Stardust is in it, I know that the rumor was, Stardust versus Stephen Amell one-on-one, but I obviously would presume that's not happening if he's in this match.
Doesn't look like it.
No.
Unless Amell gets involved somehow, which would be weird.
That would be super weird.
Yep.
I fear for everyone's safety because there's a lot of guys in here that I like and in a ladder match and what we saw last year.
Oh boy.
With Dean and I mean that was
Dean got hurt. I think Daniel Bryan kind of
didn't
he
help
took the title, but didn't he kind of start his re-injury right around that time?
Pretty much.
Yeah, he wasn't around too much longer.
Didn't Harper get hurt too?
Probably. I mean, they all went for crazy stuff, and it's not like they're going to pull punches.
Yes.
They're really going to go for it. And with as many injuries as there are, and we got Shane doing his thing, some nuts is going to happen.
I think it's going to be a great show. Unfortunately, many fans feel they're not happy with the build-up to this WrestleMania. And here's the problem. When you have this many injuries, the show still must go on.
Yeah, I don't have too many complaints about the build-up for this Mania. I feel like we got a lot of matches with a lot of story to them. We got Dean and Brock, that's been full. We got Shane and Undertaker, that's been full of story.
Well, it's been new.
Well, but I mean, they couldn't set a lot of stuff early on because, like you said, injuries happened. So everything in place, I think, drastically changed.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that's exciting.
I would argue that Triple H and Roman Reigns had a very long lead time. It's just that people don't find themselves caring as much about it as the WWE would like them to.
I mean, I'll say this. I thought Roman Reigns was fantastic on Raw. He had his 2 best segments in a while. I thought him and Steph, I thought he was very good.
Yeah.
And then when he attacked...
That's not how that works, Roman. That's not how that works.
Well, let him think it is.
You can't cover a mic and go, I'm the authority now.
It doesn't matter!
And then he had a great time attacking Triple H in that massive limo. So I thought, Roman had a really good... Especially being in Philly. As you know, from being there.
Oh, yeah.
At the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, they don't like him.
They don't.
No.
But he did pretty good.
He did pretty good. He mentioned Broad Street, and they all went, Okay,
fine.
that's near us. Hooray.
Yeah, local reference.
I don't know how that works on people. That's so bizarre.
It works on us. Pennsylvanians, you mention anything in Pennsylvania, we're almost like when people, meet someone else from Minnesota, they go, Minnesota! With Pennsylvania, we get really...
Like they're on a roller coaster?
Yeah, I put my arms up in the air. I'm like, Pennsylvania! It's the best.
All right, well, good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know if I'm ever doing a show in Philly and no one's into it.
That's all you got to do is just yell it out.
We're on the streets!
People get pumped up. They do. So, yeah, I mean, hey. It's happening.
But also with Mania storylines, and again, Jericho and AJ I think is a great storyline. With as many storylines as they do for Mania, there could potentially be terrible ones had they had more time or they screwed up somewhere. Mm-hmm. They've not really been afforded that opportunity. Everything's been pretty straightforward and solid.
Yeah. I think Reigns and Triple H are doing everything they can. The question is, are cynical fans going to ever get into it in the next 10 days?
It's too bad because I feel like Reigns is a guy that has a lot of potential and has definitely grown and improved. I mean, if you think about where he was 2 years ago and who he is now as a performer, people just don't want to cut him any slack because they feel like he was chosen and pushed, over somebody who, like Dean Ambrose, who was loved by the fans early on. But, I mean, Dean has had a lot of chances this year as well. It hasn't been his moment to shine quite yet, but neither of these guys are going anywhere. So it's like, yeah, we got Roman Reigns this year, but mainly I think we have Roman Reigns because of Seth Rollins being injured. I think this was going to be Rollins Triple H from the get-go, and then they had to do damage control. So,
right, and the
like
build
you're
up,
saying, you got to roll with the punches.
And the build-up for Rollins and Triple H would have been phenomenal.
Yeah, and it still is there. The potential is still there. He'll come back and maybe fake an allegiance to Triple H and turn on him, and then we've got a whole new storyline. So it'll happen. It's just unfortunate it couldn't happen now. But what can you do? I think this is a really solid card, and there's a lot of great guys that are getting matches because of other people being gone. I mean, when was the last time we didn't have a Mania with Cena? But I mean, I wouldn't say that it's too missed of a presence when it comes to star power. Yeah, maybe people are going to miss Cena being there, but I think that overall there's a lot of great performers that are going to get to be there and really steal the show with their in-ring talent.
Yeah, we're happy to see Zack Ryder get a shot for sure. Stardust, of course, Sami Zayn, and a lot of guys like that. AJ and Jericho are really building up well. Jericho's just being classic Jericho right now.
And we've got, I mean, Sami Zayn, I think, debuted before he would have because of the circumstances in place. Like, I don't think that, I think he would have been a night after WrestleMania guy. But
yeah, absolutely. I mean, he already has a match scheduled at NXT, so I expressed how much I was excited for that. But he's going to pull double duty that weekend. How cool!
He's going to be, he'll be exhausted by Sunday night. Mm-hmm. That's for sure. But yeah, I think you're right. I mean, it was really a lot of things had to come together in a short amount of time, and either way, people are going to go overboard to try to put on a great show this WrestleMania because they know that people are going to be watching with that fine-tooth comb and that magnifying glass because that's how fans are.
Block Holmes watches the show?
Yeah, he's going to be watching. So will Watson.
Oh.
He watches at Dr. Watson's house. Wow. That's where the bloodhound hangs out. The dog?
No shit, Sherlock.
Yep. Oh, Dale, you son of a...
Is that more Billy Corgan lyrics?
Yeah, that's actually a Billy Corgan lyric.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm on a roll, baby.
Last year's WrestleMania, I was not hyped for it. I was excited to go and everything, but the card wasn't anything exceptional to me where I'm like, I'm so excited for this, I can't wait.
But the show was phenomenal.
The show blew me away.
Yeah.
And I just had low expectations. It might be the same case again this year for other people. I'm hyped for this show, but I think it's going to be a really, really solid show.
Dale, let's compare the last, because you and I were lucky enough to be at the last two. WrestleMania 30 had all the story. We had Daniel Bryan winning the first and the last match. Everyone went home happy. We also had Undertaker beating Brock Lesnar. I mean, just moment after moment. The Divas match was what? That was just a bunch of...
It was just it was like 8 or 9, and AJ retained the title.
And then Paige won the next night on Raw, yeah. And then last year, I can't think of the exact lineup, but I remember leaving saying, wow, the stories weren't as much there, but what a show.
I mean, it's interesting. It's actually a very similar lineup. If you compare card by card, I mean, you've got the ladder match. Some of the people in it are even the same. I mean, you have, well, maybe just Stardust. But, I mean, you've got the ladder match. You've got the Undertaker match. I mean, you've got, but things mean more. I mean, if you look at Undertaker's match with Bray Wyatt, you want to say that this doesn't have, I mean, the Shane thing came out of nowhere and is definitely one of the headlines. But, I mean, last year, Undertaker was kind of a footnote as to what was happening. So, I mean, and the main event was maybe more important, but it was still Reigns, by the way. And I think people just were expecting Rollins or hoping for Rollins. And, but overall, I mean, I think they stack up fairly similar to each other.
Well, yeah, here we go. Last year's card, we had Kid and Cesaro defeated New Day, Matadores, and the Usos in that big tag team match. That was the pre-show. We had Big Show winning the Battle Royal by eliminating Mizdow. Dang it. Daniel Bryan defeating Bad News Barrett, R-Truth, Dean Ambrose, Luke Harper, Dolph Ziggler, and Stardust in a ladder match. So there you go. Similar. Randy Orton defeating Seth Rollins.
With the best, RKO ever.
Triple H defeating Sting. AJ Lee and Paige defeated the Bella Twins. And, yeah, talk about an underwhelming Divas match at WrestleMania.
I mean, there was literally nothing on the line there except that AJ was going to leave in, 2 months.
Very good point.
We didn't know that.
John Cena defeated Rusev with Lana. Now, that was a great build-up. That was really cool.
That was a great build-up and one of my favorite entrances in a long time as well.
For Rusev or Cena?
Rusev.
Yeah, it came out with the tank.
That was a great build-up, and Sting Triple H one had great build-up, too.
And then you had, of course, NWO and DX.
And no one saw that coming. That was so great.
Scott Hall taking a backdrop? What?
Kevin Nash going down, holding his knee. The internet exploded.
Yep. Yeah.
He did that on purpose. That he's like, oh, yeah, I'll make him go crazy with quad jokes.
So great. The Undertaker defeated Bray Wyatt. Once again, there wasn't a lot of build-up for that.
He didn't even show up for the feud.
He's kind of lackluster.
Yeah, it was just him lighting a chair on fire with a lightning bolt, and that was about it.
And then, of course, the main event, Seth Rollins cashed in against Lesnar and Reigns. So, you bring up a good point. A lot of people seem to be very displeased with the build-up for this Mania, but looking at this, as great as the whole night was, as good as all the matches were, you look at AJ, that there was one women's match. It was a tag match. You look now, we have an amazing triple threat. And on top of that, it looks like we're going to have a 4-on-4 women's match where one partner is still yet to be determined. I would like that to be a surprise at Mania. I'm sure they'll announce it beforehand. So you have 2 women's matches, already a big improvement.
Yes.
One of them
Who would you pick to be that other entrant? Is there somebody that you have in mind?
Man, there's so many options. I would love to see someone from NXT, maybe Alexa Bliss. She fits in perfectly with that team of Team Bad and
yeah, she does.
Lana. Just someone, but the problem is that then you risk the people who don't watch NXT are like, what? So, or it could be someone that maybe comes back from the past. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I know Lita has been, so avidly involved with WWE ever since her Tough Enough run, and I think she may have the bug. Well, it'd be awesome to have somebody like Lita, even if she just came in and did a Hurricanrana and left. That'd be fine with me. With 4-on-4, you have room for spots.
Problem is, she'd have to wrestle with the heels, and that would be weird.
I don't think it matters too much.
Nah, you're probably right. But either way, that's still an improvement for the women's division to have 2 matches. Undertaker and Shane McMahon, this has way more intrigue this year than Undertaker Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
Hey, and if you want to talk about story build-up, those 3 divas going for the title, that's been a year in the making, honestly. That's the Diva Revolution. That's been the longest storyline they've had.
Yeah.
And probably one of the Diva title matches for a couple of years where it's not 9 or the entire roster fighting for it.
Thank you.
Yeah, and hopefully Santino Marella won't be involved.
Yeah, in that match, but somewhere, please.
Give me a hell yeah!
The Battle Royal is what it is. We still don't know who exactly is going to be in that. The ladder match. Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, was that you announcing Chuck? Was Chuck going to be in the Battle Royal?
Something like that, yes.
I'm not going to hit the soundbite.
I thought that was your trumpet.
I was gonna
your royal trumpet of.
I thought it was something else.
With my butt.
What cookies are these?
So the tag match, with League of Nations versus New Day, I'm more intrigued by that than the 4-team thing last year, especially if we got the Freebirds being inducted into the Hall of Fame. New Day often has Freebird rules. League of Nations has Freebird rules. why not get the Freebirds involved somehow?
And it's in Dallas.
Yeah.
And is there a Von Erich to bring out?
There's a couple left.
Lacey? Lacey gonna come out?
She's around somewhere.
There's a couple left. It's the worst thing you can.
Not the Von Erich that I was planning on, Scotty. No, there are. There's plenty of Von Erichs, I think.
All right.
Kids and stuff.
Sure.
So I think that the tag match we have set up could be definitely a solid one. The ladder match, similar, except, of course, Daniel Bryan will get a stronger response by winning last year than anyone winning this year will. But either way,
Zack Ryder.
It's going to be fun. Randy Orton, Seth Rollins, okay, that was a good match. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I think you're right. I think the build-up for this one could argue, is possibly even better build-up than last year.
There are more stories for each match than there were last year.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, and they really weren't contending with too many injuries last year either. So I mean, it's all happenstance. I mean, that's the world of wrestling, right? You deal with what you got, and you just hope for the best. And I think we'll have some surprises. I think people are forgetting that there's so many, like the Mick Foleys, The Rock, HBK. There's so many guys out there that are going to be around at WrestleMania weekend that makes me suspect that they will be involved with one of the three main matches that we're getting. So I think there's a lot of things they could surprise us with. So
a lot of surprises that'll make people say afterwards, "Oh, that was pretty cool."
Oh, that guy's name's Dwayne Johnson.
Yes, he's involved somehow. We just don't know how. Mm-hmm. So he'll be there for sure. Regardless, it's going to be such an amazing weekend. The card is not fully set, but it's going to be by the time we get there next week, without a doubt. So, speaking of great weekend, NXT Takeover already sold out. Tickets are going for a lot of dough. And now we officially have Sami Zayn taking on Shinsuke Nakamura at Takeover.
Woo! That's so unfair. Who do you cheer? Who do you cheer?
Oh, boy, that's a good question.
You just cheer for some amazement. That's all you cheer for.
Yeah, they're going to put on a clinic.
I think anybody that goes to the bathroom during the entrances or during that match should be just thrown out of the arena.
Yeah, you hold it, or you go.
They get people to fill their seats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like, I'm just going to run to the bathroom real quick. Like, during this match? Sorry, you have to leave, sir.
You're out. We're giving your seat up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But
I think between this match and Austin Aries debuting against Baron Corbin, I don't think I'll be going to the bathroom all day.
No, I'm going to be so dehydrated by the end of the show.
Get a catheter.
Or that.
Hook that up.
I have access.
Yeah. You guys do like the beer helmet?
Yeah.
But you just get one helmet for both you guys' catheters?
Oh my God.
Ew, is this like the opposite of a beer helmet?
But I think Sami Zayn and Nakamura, it's going to be one of those shake hands prior to, put on a clinic, shake hands and hug it out. Welcome to NXT.
Spoilers.
Hey, go ahead.
No, nothing.
I was going to say I was surprised. I had only heard Nakamura speak in Japanese. I didn't know anything about his English, but very quick, but that quick promo that he cut on NXT sounded great.
No, he does know some English, actually. I think he might know even more than...
Me?
Than you. No,
pointed at me.
I'm sorry, the gentleman that has currently been injured forever.
Oh, John Cena.
Hideo Itami.
Thank you.
Video
Dale.
Atari.
Scott does not help at all.
It's very helpful.
Scott's worthless.
Yeah.
I have mild worth.
That's true. I'm sorry. You've got like $1.50.
We also have two. We have number one tag team contenders. American Alpha defeated the Vaudevillains, so now they are going to be taking on Dash and Dawson, it looks like.
So hold on. So Roadblock is the day in the sun for Big Cass and Enzo.
They don't need any more sun. They're very burnt.
They are.
They do have a lot of tanner. It's very true. But that's what their plan was for those two. They're not going to be at Takeover. They're not at Takeover at all.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
If that's the case, I am highly irritated by that. And although I have said from day one that I think that they should win those titles before they move up, but them not being on Takeover, presumably, I mean, maybe they'll get a match, but they're certainly not going for the titles, would only seem to indicate to me that they are going to be moved up to the main roster, but without ever winning the titles. I find that very strange.
They weren't on the Brooklyn show either, right?
No, they were. Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
They were? I thought that was one of the things. Like, they were on the tapings that then showed up in an NXT show, but not the NXT Brooklyn Takeover show.
Oh, I don't know. I was there in person and I saw them wrestle. That's all I can tell you. Did it make the pay-per-view? I thought it was, but maybe it was a pre-tape.
Okay.
Either way, American Alpha and Dash and Dawson, they're going to put. It's going to be an incredible match. But I think you're right. This sets up something big for Enzo and Cass, probably for Monday Night Raw, perhaps, maybe.
I hope so, because if they're being left off of the card and not having plans to move up, I just think that's horrible.
They just seem lazy. If Sami Zayn's pulling double duty, they can't duty once?
Well, I mean, unless you do a triple threat tag match.
Could be.
I mean, it's possible. And Asuka is the new #1 contender for Bayley's title. Her and Bayley take out Eva Marie and Nia Jax. Wow. Asuka and Bayley. I mean, this whole TakeOver card is full of main events, really.
It really is. Asuka, I mean, this is her time. I don't know. I think this could be her winning the title. Bayley's had it for a good minute now, and Asuka has so much drive and so much, fanfare right now. I think we could see her grab the title, and maybe Bayley is going to take that last slot. I don't know. That wouldn't make sense, I guess, storyline to be with the heels, but I think Bayley's moving on up, too, at some point soon.
Yeah, I mean, I think people realize that Bayley has the opportunity to be just an icon for women's wrestling.
That's what Bill Hanstock was talking about last week, that she could potentially be the next Hulk Hogan.
I mean, that's a tall order, but yeah.
No, he had some really good points,
Yeah, I mean, and of course they're thinking, oh my God, merch, and and which people, they buy her stuff, and she's great, and she's a sweetheart, and she's an amazing person, great in the ring. So this might be her time, and of course this might be Asuka's time to win that title. Wow. So, and then Aries and Corbin, I cannot even begin to express how great, dude. I'm telling you, a tear is going to come to my eye when Aries goes down to the ring against Baron Corbin, just to know
which eye?
Probably my right.
Okay.
Just to know the journey he's had. 15 years. After being told 5 years ago he would never be in the WWE. Now gets signed amidst huge fanfare, t-shirts selling out, and he's thrust right into the biggest event of the year.
And the cape is his.
And actually, he's going to have something cool for TakeOver.
Just saying, Neville's out. The cape is yours.
Yeah. I'm knowing him, he's going to come up with something really good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just... it just goes to show you can never give up if you're really chasing what you want.
True.
And going against...
Yeah, and it couldn't happen to a greater guy. I mean, he's just always been so kind and worked so hard. And yeah, like you're saying, to wind up here at his debut, it's just picture perfect.
It really is. And going against Baron Corbin could not be a better first opponent, because Baron Corbin is the polar opposite of Austin Aries in every sense of the word.
Meaning that you like Austin a lot and you don't like Baron much?
Why would you get the assumption I don't like Baron Corbin? What are you talking about?
Come on, Johnny.
I don't know what you're talking about. It was a jam-packed NXT episode. Hype Bros win. Emma taps out Deonna Purrazzo. Tommaso Ciampa taps out Jesse Swordsman. Tommaso getting some heat there, which is cool. I love what Emma's been doing. Her and Dana Brooke together, but I'm especially really like what Emma's been doing. Deonna Purrazzo, she's starting to get on TV a little bit more. She's really got to get better on the mic. I mean, she can't do anything backstage without laughing while she's doing it. It's like, come on, girl.
That's not good.
Yeah, pull it together. She's fine in the ring as far as I can tell, but yeah, I was like, what the hell?
It's like they're giving you an opportunity to be on TV. Work on it. We want you to do well. Come on.
Yeah. Get your act together.
But yeah, TakeOver. It's gonna be phenomenal. We'll be there. Pretty cool.
There isn't much about that card that you couldn't get excited about. So, I mean, if anybody has any gripes about WrestleMania, I mean, NXT is delivering on storyline, on performers, on every single cylinder that they could find. So, I mean, and this is, I mean, ever since TakeOver Brooklyn, I feel like it has really just found its groove. But, I mean, it's reassured by this card.
Yeah. And then let's not forget Samoa Joe and Finn Balor. We didn't even mention that.
I mean, and I predict that it could be Samoa Joe's time, or we might see some backup for Finn Balor debuting. Maybe that's what they're thinking.
We might. A lot of surprises in store for us, I think.
Just check Carl Anderson's Twitter.
Soon.
next match. What if he texted that during a takeover?
Bacon cookies.
In the gorilla position.
Soon.
Waxing back.
Soon. Anything else?
Oh, I could keep going.
Okay, I was going to let you keep going.
Retweet nuggets.
Soon. What's up, girl? There we go. So Takeover is going to be super amazing. And then to close out, let's just, we got to talk Lucha Underground. Major things happened this week. We have 4 new champions, really. Phoenix is the new Lucha Underground champion, cashing in the Gift of the Gods belt.
A lot of cashing in. We got a lot of cashing in going on.
A lot of cashing in. And he's a new champ. But Katrina not happy about it. As she stood next to Mil Muertes after the match, she said, you know what? Next week, Aztec Warfare is now going to be for that title. Phoenix enters at number 1, and Mil enters at number 12. The odds stacked against young Phoenix.
Good for Phoenix for really getting, I mean, he's a young dude to get this kind of attention and having a storyline that basically continued from last season. I mean, this has just been such a great ride for him.
Really has. And new trios champions, y'all. We got Havoc, Son of Havoc, and Helico and Evilise taking out those dead guys. What are they called?
Yes, indeed. I love that team. Those three, I mean, this is another thing that, I mean, that's what makes Lucha so great. This is a storyline that they've continued from last season yet again, where they've really paid off and they've evolved what was happening and then bring it back, you know, and really make it matter. And these three are such a great trios.
What's great about Lucha Underground, and we talk about this all the time, they utilize their talent. There's no one on that roster that is going wasted, if you will. Like, even someone like Famous B. I've known him for years. Good wrestler. Didn't do much in season 1. Now this season, he's doing those commercials. They're so funny. It's like they're interjecting humor into Lucha Underground now. Those commercials with Famous B allows him to shine because he's got a good personality. He's funny. He can deliver on the mic. That is everything that character is. And I don't know what he's doing. He magically turns some girl into like a hot chick. And everything, you know what I mean? It's just such a cheesy commercial, but it works. And I'm really happy for B that he's getting that opportunity.
They're showcasing people's strengths.
Yep.
Everybody that comes into that company gets like a cool vignette, and maybe it's something like that where it showcases his personality. Maybe it's like PJ Black or Tejano, where they kick a bunch of ass and then before their first match. But they definitely build their people. Every single person matters, like you're saying, and there might be a jobber or two, but mostly everyone is there to build their own character, and then that leads into bigger and better storylines.
It's utilized very well.
They do a very good job of when you have guys facing off each other, anyone can win. And WWE is not good at that. WWE, it's pretty clear after you watch for a little while, you go, oh, this guy's going to beat that guy.
Yep.
Like, it's just the way it is. Like, when Jericho's fighting Fandango on Raw, and you go, all right, Jericho's going to win. There's no drama to it. You don't feel like Fandango might pull it out.
To be fair, Lucha Underground obviously is a lot newer, and so people don't know as much about the people.
Right, but I think they still do a good job of these competitors are both here and have an equal chance of winning. It could be anyone's night. It's not just always momentum and who's going for a title and who has a title that's just going to win each and every time.
Yeah, no doubt. And
I do think that, Lucha, just like NXT, only has to fill an hour, technically, 40-some minutes. So it's hard to compare a 3-hour show to a 45-minute,
Well, they do it on Main Event Superstars as well. It's pretty clear cut. So I'm just saying, like,
that's fair. That's fair.
The universe they present, it's more competitive in Lucha Underground. So kudos to them for that.
And also kudos to the fact that Rey Mysterio will be competing in Aztec Warfare for the first time in Lucha Underground this week.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And I tell you, I got to meet him on Sunday. The nicest, most professional, humble person you can meet.
It's him?
That was Ray.
He's the one?
He's fantastic. Well, I don't know if I'm just saying he's a very nice person.
He's a sweetheart?
He's a total sweetheart. Like, I didn't even realize, after the event, I had, like, part of my suit hanging up in this one little, like, locker room area that ended up being shared by Kurt, Ray, and Justin Roberts. And I just went in, like, I saw someone was at the sink. I couldn't tell who. I just went in to grab my suit, and before I even turn around, he goes, "Hey man, I'll be out of your way in a second." I turn around, it was Ray. I go, "Dude, no, please, I'm just getting my suit. You do what you got to do. I'm not trying. I'm trying to
45 minutes.
I don't want to be in your way."
Yeah. No, I'm sorry.
No, you, no, me. What? Oh,
your entrance. Get in there.
It was like the Family Guy thing. Just kept going on, but so nice.
That's great to hear.
Yeah.
That it, obviously we probably would never hear those stories on the air of like, yeah, and then this guy was back there, total jerkwad, wouldn't let me get my suit.
Exactly. Wouldn't say that. No, there was one MMA fighter in particular that threw a temper tantrum in the locker rooms.
Ken Shamrock.
No, he wasn't there.
Oh, okay.
It was a guy, he's had a very long and storied career, but I guess he wasn't happy that he didn't have his own dressing room. Problem is the celebrity theater in Phoenix is small. Mm-hmm. And so everyone kind of had, like I said, Kurt shared with Ray and Justin. They didn't care. But this one fighter was like, "I don't have my own dressing room. I'll leave right now. I'm telling you, I'll leave right now." And then they couldn't make him happy. Nothing can make the guy happy. And my friend.
So did they just choke him out?
No one choked him out. He ended up fighting, but it was funny. And then Jen had to interview him before his match, and he got all pissed. He's like, "Oh, wait, you guys want me to do an interview now? I'm about to go fight." It was just really entertaining. But it was what an event it was. It was very unpredictable, to say the least. With that said, hell of an episode, gentlemen.
Yeah. Olympic winning episode, to say the least. Once again, of course, follow Chuck Rice at crice17. He's working on the Westworld with Sir Anthony Hopkins. I told him to tell Anthony we said hello. I'm sure Anthony cares. Sure.
So
he's like, "Oh, Dale Rutledge.
Oh, those compadres. I do love the show."
When is he moving back to Los Angeles?
Oh, we don't know. I want to know, though.
I met Anthony Hopkins at a random buffet once. It was quite odd.
I somehow knew it would be around food.
You guys both go to hometown buffet?
Yeah. I remember the episode of Dishing on Movies when we made a quiche.
And I said, "Can we please make chocolate pudding?" And Dale said no.
Little did I know Dale was a stickler against chocolate pudding.
Everybody knows that, Anthony.
Hey.
Sir Anthony.
Sir.
Or Sir Tony, as he likes to be called in the streets.
Sir Tone?
Sir Tony. Hey, yo, Sir Tony.
Wow. I think I'd love to see him break that accent out.
Sure. Always playing the one-note characters.
I remember the time on Dishing on Movies when Dale and I shared a Chianti with some fava beans. It was delish.
Because I'm on Dishing on Movies, you idiot.
Yes. And we did an episode specifically for Silence of the Lambs.
Hit the Sir Anthony soundbite. We got that on deck?
Yep. Oh, no, we're getting him on. Don't worry. We squeezed all the blood out of the Sir Anthony Hopkins stone in this episode.
Yeah, you don't want to do fake impressions and make sound bites of that. That'd make for a terrible show.
Not at all.
Fair.
All right, we are at Wrestling Buds on Twitter, Facebook.com/WrestlingBuds. Dale Rutledge, why don't you put yourself over?
You can find me at The Walking Dale on Instagram and Twitter. You can also find me on YouTube.com/DishingOnMovies.
Scotty.
You can listen to my comedy wrestling podcast, Curtain Jerks, available on iTunes and SoundCloud. Also, the 16 Bits podcast, also available on iTunes and SoundCloud. That's all video games. And big announcement this week. I am performing WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah, I just heard about it last night. Tell us about it.
I'm performing in a improv show with AfterBuzz's own Christian Rosenberg.
Mm-hmm.
And guest of the show, Shane Hartline, will be there.
Mm-hmm.
I believe ROH...
Dalton Castle.
He's going to be there,
Rosie
yes.
announced it last night on our show. He came in. Dalton Castle.
Adam Cole.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
That is being talked about. I know Sami Callihan as well. Those are the only names I know for sure.
Hell yeah.
And that's going to be Friday night, I believe. Is it after TakeOver?
Friday night, 11 p.m. It's for charity.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for that information on here.
It's for a dog rescue, I believe, charity or something like that.
So you think you're a good guy? Now I'm doing charity work.
Scotty!
So yeah, it's going to be a crazy show. It's going to be a lot of fun, doing a lot of improv, so should be good. So tweet me or hit me up on the social media if you want more info.
And we'll do our best. Dale and I will try to hustle over there. I don't know how long TakeOver is going to be, but we'll try to get over there.
All right.
What time's...
Scott, maybe you can adopt a puppet.
Ooh.
I got a puppet?
I got a puppet.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that'd be great.
Well, Dale, what time's TakeOver? Is it 8 p.m. Eastern or something?
I don't remember. Friday night. is what I have in my calendar.
Well, let's see. We're in Texas, and Texas is an hour behind the East Coast. So something tells me it'll be 9 o'clock for us.
Is it live, though?
The improv show? Yes. The improv show will be live.
Oh, wait. I can't even keep track. No, if they wanted to start at 8 p.m. Eastern, it would be 7 o'clock Texas time.
You're confusing
Boring.
me.
I have no idea. But your show's definitely 11 p.m. Texas time.
Yes.
Good to know.
Well, that's all that's going to really matter. Like, if you're in New York,
Sure.
you're like, gotta go to the show. Come on,
Oh.
Tony, get in my Jeep Cherokee.
I don't feel comfortable in Jeep Cherokees. You know this.
Hey, come on, get in there. We got to get there because it's Texas time.
Do you have a Red Bull waiting for me?
Gives you wings.
Okay.
Is that Sir Anthony Hopkins going to his comedy show?
Yeah, dude, I
For
told
the
you.
first and last time.
We're tight with Sir Tony.
All right.
Yeah.
We can't all have buffets, I suppose.
Let's see. What do I got going on? I'm at the Brea Improv all this weekend, which will be fun. And then I'm actually headlining the Brea Improv Wednesday, April 27th. I know it's way ahead of time, but I'm excited about it. So if you're going to be in SoCal, it'd be great to see you. Otherwise, at Jay Quasto, jlocomedy.com. I don't know if I'm doing any shows WrestleMania weekend. I tried to get in at the Addison Improv. I don't think it's happening. But I may do a show Thursday night, the 31st, with a friend of mine who's headlining. I may do a guest set. So I'll know that by next week if I'm going to do that.
Can we preemptively shame the Edison Theater?
Shame him! Shame!
Yeah. They don't do a lot of shows on Wednesdays.
Shame us? I don't get it. Why would you shame us?
Exactly. I tried. They don't do a lot of shows on Wednesdays, and I was like, hey, guys, I think I could get some, a good crowd out. It'd be fun to do, but I never heard back. So what are you going to do?
You got to get Maxwell Hardy on the card.
I got to get Maxwell Hardy on the card. And Sir
You
Tony.
don't bring a baby to a comedy show.
Oh, Jim Cornette. Yes, you do.
Yeah, come on, you fuddy-duddy.
Babies hate laughing. Everyone knows that.
You sure?
Yeah.
You sure?
Are you
I
sure?
just told you.
No, you didn't. You didn't answer.
He said it. He said it.
Okay.
My bad.
With that said, we're going to be all there at WrestleMania. I know AfterBuzz is planning some kind of meetup. I think Soapbox Mark Donika's on top of that. So we don't know exactly where or when, but we should know by next week.
You can speed date with all of us.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be fun, right?
That'd be a terrifying experience. But
Oh, Lord. I thought we wanted people to come, not run away.
yeah, right.
Whoa.
Hey.
More dangerous
You know what I'm saying.
than a hollow-eyed scorpion.
Oh, my God.
So with that
Keep
said,
that one.
the anticipation builds. Thank you for always riding with us, everyone. Please go to iTunes, rate us 5 stars, write a nice review if you haven't done it yet. And Professor Procrastination, whoever you are, hit us up on Twitter. We will send you that Lucha Underground comic book. Otherwise, just get ready for WrestleMania. Let us know if you're going. Hit us up on Twitter, on Facebook. Let us know because we are going to have a big meetup. We'd love to see you. Bring your Compadres shirts because that would be super dope as well. Other than that, guys, we can't thank you enough for being here. And we can't thank Kurt Angle enough, the legend, for being on our show. We'll see you next week.